You're ready, are we on now? Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting, July 14, 2020 City Council meeting to order. And welcome everybody that might be joining in through Facebook. We have with us, we have three council people: Christy Campbell, Hal Roberts, and Tony Lee, and Katie Smith that joined us remotely. So we have a quorum. We're too short, but I have reason to believe that Randy will be here in a few minutes. We'll go ahead and move on. Let me say a couple of things here. The governor extended the order to pretty much, doesn't use the word required, but encourages us to hold meetings this way, so we are doing that tonight, as we have in the last 3 months, and that order has been extended. It was Executive Order 51, and extended 16 and 34 until August 29th. The other thing I will say to you is that we are spaced out, hopefully socially distancing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people here in the room, spread out around the sides of the room. And so we hopefully are in compliance. And I'm sitting here kind of stalling because there was something else I wanted to say and I've forgotten what it was. So maybe it'll come to me today. It might be middle of October, who knows? Just one of those things. If you'll bow with me, we'll have a word of prayer before we go any further. Our Father, we're thankful for this opportunity to gather here today, again with our friends and neighbors here in this community. Lord, we pray a blessing on them and their families. We pray for those that are suffering from illness and pray that you will restore them to their health quickly. Lord, we know that there are those in our community here that have lost loved ones. We pray for the family of Paul Talent and others that we know about around the county. We pray that you'll be with those families and comfort them. We pray that you'll continue to bless our people. We pray that if it be thy will, we find a way to get out from under this COVID-19 stuff and get on back, hopefully, to a somewhat normal life. Lord, we're thankful for everything you do for us. We ask you to go with us and forgive us of our sins. Amen. All right. Still haven't thought about what I want to say. You should have wrote it down. Okay, we got a set of minutes from our regular meeting in June 16, 2020. Everybody had a chance? Everybody had a chance to look at them? Katie Smith made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tony Lee and Christy Campbell. Discussion. All right. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It carries by a vote of 5-4 with 2 absent. And then we have a set of minutes from our special call meeting on June the 30th that we need to approve as well. Have a motion from Katie, second from, who made it second? Second from Hal Roberts. Any discussion on those? Okay, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved. The only item of public business that I had was that I was contacted last week by a lady here in town, Tammy Paradise, and she asked that we spruce up the square with the directional signals and repaint those, and talked to Bob about that Monday, and going to paint the crosswalks again and try to make that a little better. So I haven't had anything from other than the public on that, but I did think of something here. Wasn't what I was going to say a while ago. Anyway, I'll try to make a note out of it here. All right, the reports, I think, have been sent out to everybody in advance. Chief Laney would have been first tonight, and he has provided a police report. Looks pretty standard, I think, to what we normally see each month. Did anybody see anything there that they wanted to comment on, talk about, alarms about, anything like that? Kate, anything? Okay. All right, we'll move on from that then. And next would have been the sewer report from Dale Smith. He has talked on there about while we were assessing the collection system for the rehab project, some areas in the collection system were located, and he has recommended that we pursue those after our rehab project is completed and the order has been lifted. So, as y'all know from your years of experience, there's pretty much always something to do in the sewer. So, nothing there too alarming other than we're going to be spending money in the future. So, anybody, any comments or anything on that? Okay. And then finally is the fire department report. That would have been Chief Hahn. They had 50 calls last month. And he said the donated engine is officially in service and has already responded to wrecks and one fire without issues. And that hydrant painting, testing, and numbering has begun and should conclude by the end of the summer. So the hydrants are painted a certain color to indicate how much flow they have coming from them. But other than that, it appears that everything appears to be pretty normal. Anybody comments from anybody? Okay, hearing none. We do have some items of business tonight. Let me start by saying this. I want to thank Dina Dowd and Jim Amaro and anybody else that worked on our 4th of July parade. I think we had a good day. From where I saw, from walking from one end of town to the other, people did a pretty good job of spacing out, social distancing, and I thought we had a really good crowd. You could tell almost from looking at people as you walk by that they were glad to be out and doing something. And then I think we had a pretty good fireworks show. Well, I know we had a good fireworks show. We had a pretty good crowd, but you couldn't tell as much because most people stayed in the car and they didn't get out and mingle, which is what we asked them not to do. So I was pleased with the compliance and heard some good comments on it. So y'all will be congratulated for the money you put in on that and provide something here at home where we don't have to travel off to other places. One other, yes. There
were a lot of people on the train side, not social distance, and then I talked to a lot of people who came from other places here, Nashville in particular, because their fireworks were canceled.
Yep, that's good. Not that theirs were canceled, but that we had a good crowd. I know, you disagree, I know.
Did Brady get there yet?
Do what?
Did Brady get there yet?
No, not yet.
I'd like to make one comment on the parade. I thought it was real good, but we need to stop the traffic on we had kids running out across the street, and the traffic, they didn't pay attention to the parade at all. And they would just keep coming through, and I just sitting there worrying that some child was gonna get run over.
Well, we had people coming in your end of town, you and Tony's in, Christie's, everybody around the table, coming back against the parade.
Yeah.
And we were hollering at them, telling them, we're having a parade.
We should have had the police or somebody
Yeah,
stop it.
We'll do a better job of that
But
next
other
year.
than that, it was really good, I thought.
We'll do a better job of that next year. Got some good news on the industrial park. I think I had reported to y'all that we got $90,000 from what used to be Four Lakes, I forget their correct name now, as a grant, and then the Industrial Development Board of Wilson County gave us another $22,000 to spend. That's $112,000 on the Industrial Park Road. As y'all know, it's in pretty bad shape. Met with Steve Murphy out there, the Wilson County Road Superintendent, yesterday morning, and they're gonna do that work for us. So that will allow us to do more, and we're hopeful that not only can we do the entire road from Linwood around to Highway 70 and the cul-de-sac, but hopeful that we can come out there next to Mark Fletcher's and pave that up to the highway there. Now that'll be the last thing to go if the money runs out. But, and he thinks that can do that for us by Labor Day. So that'll be a nice thing. That road's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, it's sunk down too many big trucks,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah, some of those spots need to be dug out,
yeah, they're wet
way
spaces.
down and.
Talked to him about that. He recommended not digging them out, but he said when you dig them out, many times they spread. And he recommended putting binder, filling it in with binder before he came back with across the top. So that's, they may get into it and think something else. But I was pleased. I didn't think they would do that because they stay pretty busy. He agreed to do it. So that's very good. I want to talk to you about the playground. The playground is installed, and it looks good. And there is 88,000 pounds of mulch out there to be spread. But we really can't open the playground right now, put kids and parents in there, because they'll be climbing all over each other, doing the things you do on a playground. So we've held off opening it, and we've held off spreading the mulch. I'd like to know y'all's thoughts about that. I really would like to hold off a while longer. And then if we get to where the COVID-19 has relaxed and headed in the right direction and we feel safe, we'll spread that and open the playground. But if we spread it now, I'm afraid people are gonna come over there and
Bobby's
start
not talking
using-
about that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
What kind of mulch is it?
It's the rubberized, and it's there's 88,000 pounds. Bob Thompson ordered 76,000 pounds, and they went down there and did the square footage and called the folks and said we needed 12,000 more. So they did. So they brought it in here on Thursday, and before the 4th of July, brought it in on the 2nd of July. So if y'all are okay with that, I'm gonna leave it like it is.
Yeah, I think we should wait
Yeah,
That,
I think that's a good
a
idea.
little bit more.
And I had to run some teenagers out there on June the 25th. I came over here and signed checks about 10 o'clock and got out, and of course they were having a concert out here at the drive-in, and all the police were out there working, and I thought, there you go. But they parked out here in the dark, and it was boyfriend, girlfriend type stuff. Y'all gotta go, get out. So I can imagine that do with young children if they get a chance to go in there. One other item of old business that has not been back for some time, but I've been asked to bring it back by Philip Warren at the Election Commission. And you have a resolution there. He would like for us to require non-resident property owners to vote by absentee only. And he gave me a letter there, but he also gave me a little better explanation of why the election commission wants this. Watertown's charter allows for folks who own property that may not live here to vote in the city election. Now that the election commission has gone to vote centers, there's 18 vote centers around the county, of which we are one. People in Watertown can vote anywhere of those 18 centers and vote for the city election or any other election. But for the non-resident people, it requires them to put out more information, and they've got to put out that information to all 18 vote centers, and he would like to avoid that. I have seen the list right now. Tammy told me today she has not gone through it like she does before the election. Some of them will be on there that have sold property and will be removed. But right now, there's 38 people in there, and a lot of the names you would recognize. So he's asking for that. We'd have to pass, I called it a resolution, but we'd have to pass an ordinance, and we'd have to pass it on 2 readings. So I don't have any problem recommending it to you tonight, and I'd like to think about it a little bit before the second reading and see if any of those folks object to it or whatever. I don't know how many of those folks actually vote, come back into Watertown and vote. But, so I would recommend that to you on first reading. But again, I'd like maybe for y'all to receive comments on it too, to see what people think about it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion and a second before we discuss, or can we talk about it now?
We can talk about it now. I mean, we're pretty informal.
So, do ballots automatically get mailed to these people, or do they have to request it?
I think they have to request it.
So it's not gonna automatically up the percentage of them that are voting because they get mailed?
That's the way I understand it, but I'll ask that question again before second reading, if there is a second reading. But my understanding is it's like any other absentee ballot, they have to request it. Well, I assume that's the way all absentee ballots are. I don't know. Y'all know?
I think, will they get notice? There's just questions.
That's a good question, and I don't have an answer for that. I'll find out. We've got to, if we do this, we've got to approve it more than 60 days before the election. So we've almost got to vote on it tonight and at the August meeting for it to be effective, because we'll only have those 2 meetings. But those are very good questions, and I don't know the answer to them unless it's in that letter that it's sent out. Did you get a chance to look at that?
If we can have answers to those questions before the second vote, I'm willing to move that we approve it, especially knowing that it's only 38 property owners on a, not double check that list.
Well, I will ask that question in the next day or 2 and get his answer and email it out to everybody so we'll have it between now. So if you get asked about it on the street, people will know. So you've made a motion? Okay, Katie has made a motion to approve on first reading with the understanding that we get responses to these questions or any other that y'all may come up with.
Second.
Got a second from Tony Lee. Is there further discussion on this? Okay, if not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, let me move on to some items of new business, not a lot. We have, as we usually do in July, the request of Eddie Callis and the Kiwanis Club at Lebanon, or perhaps the Kiwanis Club across the county, to approve the day of prayer for our schools. I've got that somewhere here. But that was sent out at your seat tonight, and then, Katie, did you get yours by email? Okay, we just sent it this afternoon. It is the resolution designating Sunday, August 2 as a day of prayer for our schools in Wilson County. And it's the standard resolution we do every year and have done since 1999. This is the 22nd year. So I certainly have no problem recommending that.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Have a motion from Tony Lee to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second from Christie Campbell. Discussion, anywhere, anybody? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let me take a break right here and ask Grant, we got anybody looking in? Okay. All right. April reminded me a couple of weeks ago, last year's audit, 18-19 is concluded, y'all got a copy of that, but we need to approve the contract to do the audit for the year that just concluded 14 days ago. In April, what was the price? The same as last year. Mr. John Poole, who's done our audit the last few years, proposing to do that for $5,500, which is the same amount he charged last year. And we split that fee equally between the general fund and the water and sewer fund. So, I would recommend that to you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Katie made the second. Hal made the motion, or was it Tony? Who made that? Hal, okay. All right, any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I have, one more resolution for you, and that is to move $113,407.09 out of one of the water and sewer CDs to cover the cost of what we have paid water management services for the engineering, design, surveying, and everything that has happened over the past year. And we just paid it, but now we need to make that adjustment, or otherwise the water and sewer fund may be a little out of whack. Okay, Katie has made a motion to do that. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion on that? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That covers the resolutions. We do not have the end of the year budget report for you. The last one you had should have been dated about June the 5th. Jessica, who works for Buddy Dykes, they have had 2 folks out of the office. I don't know whether it's related to the COVID-19 or just, I hesitate to use the term for regular sickness. But anyway, she said they've been slammed. So as soon as that comes in, I'll get that out to you, because I'm anxious to see those numbers too. And we'll probably have to do some line item transfers around. Yes.
Jerry, well, asked, will someone make a motion to read the coloration proposal sent in by him for using the tower at City Hall?
Who is that from?
Derek
Elwell?
Elwell.
No, not tonight. I won't recommend that tonight. He's been trying to meet with me and that type of thing, and I haven't been able to. But I'm not ready to do that right now. That City Hall is in pretty bad shape. Plus, we don't know what shape that tower's in before somebody starts climbing on that. So, I mean, if y'all want to do that, but I can't recommend that at this time.
I don't know what he said.
Okay, I'm sorry. We've had a comment from somebody watching. It's Mr. Derek Elwell, who's been trying to meet with me for some time, but he is, and I don't know anything about computers, so I think this is what his work, but he is designing something that will, he says will benefit the community, but he needs to use the tower at the old City Hall. And we haven't used that tower for some time. I don't know what kind of shape it's in or anything. So I'm not prepared to recommend that tonight. And what I said before that, you probably heard, was if y'all feel differently, of course, feel free to do that. But, I can't vote for that tonight. And that's not necessarily Mr. Elwell's fault, because he's been trying to get in touch with me. But, okay, we'll leave that alone. Mentioned here at the end of your budget report, have we heard anything from Randy? Okay, all right. Our next meeting would be August 18th at 6 o'clock. that just reminded me of what I wanted to say at the start. And that was to say to the people watching, we're meeting a week earlier than we normally would have been. And I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but I did now, because I got my memory jog. Unfortunately, that's happened to me more often than I like to admit. Katie, do you know of anything going on in town between now and August? We got any events or anything?
Not that I know of, but I haven't gone to the Chamber of Commerce meetings because they're being held in small spaces in person without masks.
Sure. I haven't heard anything. Have any of y'all heard anything about it? Just trying to get the publicity out of help. I assume we still got a fall mile long yard set, but that may go by the wayside too. As y'all know, there's just a lot of uncertainty right now everywhere, and I don't know how to plan for things. Yes.
Can you make sure, does everybody there know that I got a positive COVID diagnosis?
Well, I don't know. I didn't say it because I didn't know whether you wanted me to or not.
It's all over, I do want people to know.
Okay. Y'all heard what Katie said?
I heard it, but I didn't understand a word of it.
She received a positive result on the COVID-19 test. It is understood you took on July 1st, and it was returned on the 12th. So there's a 11 or 12 day turnaround time.
Well, I went again yesterday and got tested, my family got tested, most of my staff got tested, and the rest of them were supposed to be doing it. They said they changed labs from the one they were using on the first. They expect things to come back faster. Who knows, really? Somebody from the health department finally called me for the first time yesterday. They were supposed to call again today. Nobody has called today. They're not doing contact tracing from anything I can tell. Everything that's happening with my staff and my restaurant closing is completely my decision. And because I want to do what I can to stop it.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to comment on anybody's health situation unless they did, so.
Yes, and that's why I brought it up, but I just think we need to talk about it because it's a real danger.
Well, I wasn't opposed to talking about it, but because of the HIPAA requirements, I'm not going to talk about somebody else. Now that you brought it up, I'm more than welcome, more than fine to talk about it.
Right. I just want everybody to know.
Okay? All right. Okay, well, let's go around the table. All right?
I've got one thing I'm sort of interested in, like this trolley over here by the fire hall.
Uh-huh.
That's an ugly spot. Windows have broke out, blown out or something. It's just a piece of junk sitting there. Can we get rid of that?
Well, we can if y'all want to. I don't, personally, I don't want to, but if y'all want to, we can declare it
What
surplus.
are we gonna use it for?
Well, I would like to think that we fix it up and use it again.
Well, that'd be okay if we fix it, but it's
Yeah.
sitting there just a
But
eyesore.
we gotta have a place to put it and
Yeah.
protect it, and I don't know where that's gonna be, Hal.
Well, could we put it in the old ambulance, things down there on the square?
I think it's too long for it, isn't it?
It's either too long or too tall.
What about, do we have any room down at the old fire hall for Bob and them on?
No.
No, I don't think so. I got everything full. I was,
We're talking about the trolley, and it's the sad shape it's in, and what to do with it.
it's a unique piece of equipment and
That's why it's
everything, but
turned
it's just, it's as long as it sits there with the windows and everything, actually, it's just gonna, weather's gonna.
Well, if we put the money in it, we're gonna have to protect it somewhere, and I
Yeah.
don't know where it would be, other than, I don't know, do they have a space over here, Tony, Kristen,
I
y'all?
don't know.
I don't
Not
know.
unless we bought some kind of awning and put it under.
They're parking in the middle now.
Okay,
Yeah, you just don't see any of them anymore. It's,
no,
One of those, carport things are not terribly expensive.
we're talking about how to protect it. One of the, it looks like a tunnel, or
Yeah.
Like they put for like campers and stuff, people put in their
Yeah.
park their campers under.
What about Bob McComb? Bob McComb was selling, you at the feed store, remember?
Right?
And there was a company in there that was doing those, shelters. And I think Bob still has the distributorship. But he has those shelters on his property at the old feed store. And I don't know if there's something parked in everyone. I wonder if we can pay him rent to park the trolley there with the paper.
I don't know. Will you be able to have contact with him about that, or do I need to do that?
I don't mind asking him. I don't know. Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Okay, and then I'll see about getting somebody to look at it and see what type of work. I know there's a lot for that to be done. And we don't have a specific use for it, but I just hate to turn it loose. That's just me.
Well, my granddaughter and I came over here, to get fish last Saturday, they cooked fish. And, I just made the comment to her, I said, we need to do away with that. It's just an eyesore. And she said, Dad, no. I said, we've used that before. I said, I like it. So,
Well, we used it for Vacation Bible School. Mitchell Lee used to drive it.
yeah.
And, I don't think they did this time.
I remember in elementary
It's in bad shape.
You what, Kate?
It's in bad shape.
It is.
It's not so useful with the trains because it's not friendly to people who are mobility impaired, and that's the reason we run the trolley. And I never remember, and I think that the chamber doesn't really remember either, who really owns it. But there's another kind of vehicle, right? A more mobility impaired friendly vehicle would be more useful. And I think it's charming, but I'm not sure it's useful. And I'm sure that it's not gonna get better today.
Well, I think, and my history may lead me like some of my thoughts already have tonight. Jeff Tunks bought it, and we bought it from him and put it on our insurance. So I think we're the owner. But Jeff bought it, he followed it down the road one day, the interstate, and it had a for sale sign, and he pulled him over and asked about it, and bought it, if I'm not mistaken. And that's been 15 or 18 years ago. Well, we'll do some work on that.
Yeah, we've used it for the yard sale, moving, people from the park over to the square, Besides the churches used it.
We'll have some August discussion on that, and I'll try to gather as much information as I can. Katie, Brandy has joined us. Brandy has joined us.
Colette has been in several conversations. We've talked about this and about releasing it multiple times over the last 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
And he stalled. I'm sure the trolley would stall too, from what I hear, the brakes and all that stuff. But the resolution keeps stalling. So you might want to talk to Vicki or Colette and see what they have.
Okay. Who'd you say, Vicky or Colette?
Or even Kathy McCook.
Okay.
I don't know that we've gone around about it while Becky was president, but I know we went around about it while Kathy was president and while Vicki was involved in everything.
Okay. We'll take a look at that, try to have plenty of information in August to make a decision if we need to.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, Tony?
No complaints.
No complaints, that's good news. Katie?
Two things for me. Do we need an update on the meeting that Tech Lady was asking for? Because
No.
I think that's still really worth pursuing. I don't know if it's something that we can make happen, but they seemed interested and it seems important to follow up on that to me.
Okay.
And then the other thing is I'm gonna
electronic meeting, would you be talking about me doing what I'm doing from here and everybody else being somewhere else?
I don't know, is there a rule that you have to be there?
No, but I mean, we gotta set up the
I just don't
equipment
think,
somewhere.
I don't
No,
think
you
our,
don't actually, is what I'm saying. If everybody's participating from their own computer, then everybody can just use Zoom and participate over Zoom. And as I understand it, you can record the meeting with Zoom.
We are about to do a railroad meeting Thursday afternoon with Zoom, but I'm gonna be at the railroad office, and the managing director, the assistant managing director is gonna be there, but we're at over 4 counties. And I'm hoping enough will join us remotely that we have a quorum, but I don't have any idea whether that'll happen or not. That's gonna happen.
It's the easiest tool we've used so far. In the beginning, we weren't using Zoom. And all you have to do is click join a meeting and type in a meeting number and a passcode. And it's very straightforward.
I think that would limit the access of the public though, because they wouldn't be able to get in the meeting with us.
Randy is asking, does that limit the access of the public because they wouldn't be able to be in the meeting with us?
Well, I don't think so, but I can do, who's doing the tech? I don't know if you can make it open for people to watch. I think you can.
Not unless they join the meeting. I've done 100 Zooms over the last couple of weeks. It's much
Very,
harder.
very difficult.
It's very hard to do.
All right, I'm getting y'all up.
It's very difficult, he said.
It's not impossible, but it would be very difficult. If we were to take everyone from the public and invite them into that meeting, it would cause a lot of traffic and no one would be able to have time
And
to
you would
speak.
secure it in that
And
way.
we would secure it that way. If we try to take that Zoom meeting and put it over YouTube like we are now, that causes another issue of at least 2 to 3 people needing to be in one location to be able to still stream, which would still cause less social distancing.
Okay, Grant Irons, who's doing this, assisting us, thank goodness, says that it's gonna be very difficult to do it by Zoom and have the public in and that type of thing. Now, I'm just repeating what I've heard, because I have no idea how these things work. And you know, when I do that Thursday, I'm gonna have the county's IT guy there with me to help me, because I have seen those done in the county commission, and it's somewhat difficult. Mayor Hutto handled it pretty well. I don't know how the public participated, if they did.
If it were just the council, it's very easy and very convenient. But I think if we're going to do diligence for our citizens, we would be leaving them out that way. And if that's who we're here for, I feel like we need to put them.
Randy says she feels like we'll be leaving the citizens out if we do that. It would be better for us. And am I repeating what you just said?
Sure, yeah.
Are you asking us to take a position on that tonight? Or we don't meet again until August the 18th. So we're 5 weeks away. Things could get better, but I really thought they were better 2 months ago. So I don't know what to make out of that, Kate. Are you asking us to make a decision on that tonight? You're shaking your head no.
I'm just saying the same thing I say every time. That I feel like we need to do the things that we can do to protect our.
Okay.
And
So noted. Okay. What else?
no,
Okay. Christie?
I actually have some stuff.
All right.
Now, I'm just bringing this stuff up. One of the residents on what we consider the Billy Goat Hill part of Cornwall
Yep.
has requested a speed bump. Says that there's a lot of traffic coming through there very fast. So I said I'd bring it up. However, I didn't feel like anybody would want to vote for any more speed bumps in town. But that we could maybe send extra patrol and watch that area. But it's just kind of like that area is kind of like when you got off Commerce and Elm, where people coming from the country coming at a faster speed and they get into town. They're still going fast.
Is it happening in front of Joe Ron Parkinson's house?
I think it's more. I think it's more on coming up a little bit closer to town. I think coming in and out right there, they're getting speed. But
Christie has had a request, Katie, from a citizen about a speed bump on the Billy Goat Hill, Cornwall Avenue area. We got into this 25 years ago, and we voted to do it, and then the very next month, we voted not to because we had, I think somebody drove a car across it or whatever, did some damage to it, whatever.
yeah, I mean,
How can anybody get up enough speed on Billy Goat, as many curves it is, except it's still Don's out there?
Yeah.
I can't see as anybody can get up enough
Yeah.
speed. You ain't got-
everybody feels like
You ain't
they're-
got 30 yards in between each curve to where you can.
that's true, but I do feel like people, when I'm doing mail, I do feel like people are flying past me when I'm sitting in a lot of places, but yeah, they just, in that area, he brought up that he's got, a lot of people coming through there pretty fast, but I'm with you. We did
You
this,
wanna make a motion?
we did a speed bump before, and I just,
Yeah.
it caused more problems.
We can ask, I'll ask
Yeah.
Chief Wayne.
Yeah, but more than anything, just having more patrol in that area would,
I have
Maybe
had some
slower.
complaints, not from there, but on other parts of town.
yeah, so.
I think if you're gonna put one, it needs to be one of those that's about 6 foot wide, where you, instead of one of them, just,
Just up and down.
yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, we can check into it and see if they think one's needed, but I hate to just run out and throw one up there right now.
I'll ask the chief to look at that.
Let's see, then the other thing I had was, since Jim can't come to our meetings, he, requested that we, put, a handicap spot in front of his business. If you thought that was something that we needed to do,
Jim Mallon,
yeah.
Katie, you're down on that end of town, business-wise, is there a handicap spot there anywhere?
No, and it's a good idea.
Okay.
I think the nearest one is.
In front of Jim's
where-
place there, is that all right?
I don't know the legal requirements for a handicap spot, but that would be a good location in terms of being central to the businesses that go up the track.
Okay.
He wanted one more time.
Is there one on the square?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 on the square. They may not be marked very well right now, we need to go back in and paint, but I didn't think there was one about from the
And
Mexican
then that would
restaurant
also
back east.
help Katie.
No, and I think it's a good idea, and you want those to be close to the businesses that they're trying to.
Okay.
We had talked about it. And then while we're
You
talking,
wanna make a motion to do
yes,
it?
I will. I'll make a
All right, Christie's made a motion for us to put a handicap, parking spot. I think the correct, it's probably is it disability or what,
Yeah.
handicap parking spot. Is there a second? Katie seconds. Discussion? None? All in favor say aye. Aye. Oh. 6-0-1. Okay, you're doing good, whatever.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about was that I know, years ago, we had also talked about putting one in front of Brenda's barber shop, the beauty shop. And for like all her people who come, I think that one would really be needed, but I don't want to keep taking up a whole bunch of spots for handicap, but that's also one we could consider. Cause she has
That's
a,
on, Depot?
yeah. And that would kind of help Depot and her, but it's, again, I don't want to keep taking up, yeah, I don't want to keep taking up the spots, but she does have a whole lot of elderly ladies that come and get their hair done. It would help them.
Yeah, I better not go there. There are a lot of spots in the bank parking lot there that are available for regular parking. All right, how y'all feel about that?
I think that's probably more than the one in front of you.
I agree. I should have
Okay.
probably put that.
I'm good with it. Somebody,
Well, I'll make a motion for that one too.
I'll say,
got a motion and a second to put one down in the vicinity, on Depot Gate in front of Brenda's Beauty Shop.
And you've spoken with Brenda. Like
I
she
have
wants
not,
But she
but
brought
she,
that up
but I was
sometime.
saying, it's been a while, and we had
it.
talked
Should we
about.
add to the motion, just providing that she's okay with that?
Why don't we do that? Why don't we,
Yeah, I can do
if
that.
she's all right with it.
Yeah, I can,
We added to it, Katie, if Brenda's okay.
I will catch her when I'm.
I can't
delivering
say
mail.
that she wouldn't be, but I
Yeah.
feel like at least give her a chance.
I remember it got brought up before and we just never finished follow through with it, but I think that.
Okay. All right, we got a motion and a second, and we, the maker and seconder added to it to make subject to Brenda being okay with it. Ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh. Okay, that carries 6-0 to 1.
I'm done. I'm done with that.
Busy
Supposed to
on
be
that
for
one.
another 6
I know it. I've had people
She's
stopping me
saying
like
all
crazy.
year.
Apparently Max is not the only one that looks for you.
That's it, you're right, here lately.
Okay.
Okay, I do.
You moved around, so you lost your
I
spot.
know. I kind of like going last though, because then I get to hear what y'all say, and if y'all say what I was going to say, I don't have to say it. Right? I was going to get a little clarification, other than a whisper from my friend here, the resolution for the non-resident property owners. Just so I know, it approved, I believe, on first reading, but this is for property owners that do not live here full-time to vote absentee, correct?
That's right.
And they can only, if this passes on a second reading, they can only vote absentee.
That's correct.
Okay.
And
And I was gonna bring that up myself. I didn't know that it would be here in the form of an ordinance already on first reading, so I'm glad that that was here. And if I get a chance to vote, I guess I will vote in favor. for that.
Philip
Okay.
asked about it. We
Yes.
brought it 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
And Katie, during the discussion, asked that we find out two things. One is if the folks on the list will be given notice that
Yes.
this is the way they vote, and do they have to make a request, or is one valid automatic consent to it?
Do you know the answers to
I don't,
those?
I told her I would get
Okay.
those answers before second reading.
Okay. Would the outcome of those two questions change our moving forward into a second reading?
Brandy asked if the answer to those questions, would it change the outcome on second reading?
Well, the reason I asked about that, those questions in particular, is because I don't want to change the base rate at which people who don't live here are voting, right? So if they're not coming because it's inconvenient, and suddenly we mail them a ballot, then we've changed something real, and I think we need to think of that. That was my thought.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it changed my thinking on it or not.
Because I'm in favor of this, I mean.
I did talk to
Yeah.
Philip today about it, Philip Warren. One of the concerns I've always had about it, it's a unique situation. Not too many places have this,
Yeah,
but it is ripe for abuse.
absolutely,
And so,
absolutely.
he and I talked a little bit about that. Tammy that works for him, that is an assistant, she says she checked this list to make sure. The list right now has 38 names on it. I can tell you a lot of the names you'll recognize. Some of the names on there, a few, no longer on property here. And she said those would be taken off. But the other thing that, and I think they do a pretty good job of this, well, we have so much rental property here, as y'all know, people are moving in and out all the time.
Mhm.
There's probably people on that list of qualified voters right now that don't live here and don't own property. They need to be purged. So what we've tried to do here, I don't know how successful we've been at it, but if somebody moved out of town, we had.
But they couldn't vote anyways, even if they showed up, right? They would
Well,
register.
if they came in and they still had on their election card that their residence was here, unless somebody challenged them, they could vote.
So they could still use an older voter registration card even though their residence has moved if they don't update their.
If they don't, no, they're not supposed to,
No,
right?
but there's no way to get around that.
No way to get around that.
But
And
they
I've
also
always,
have to be motivated enough to come to vote here if they don't live here.
That's the,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
true.
abuse part. That's what
It
I'm-
says here
that after the adoption of this ordinance, the election commission must mail notice of this voting process along with an application for ballot to all non-resident property owners.
All right, Hal's reading from the letter, and it says in there that if this passes, the election commission has to, mail them notice of, they have to vote to absentee ballot, mail them a ballot.
Yes.
So,
Is it a notice or a ballot?
what's it say, Hal?
It says,
Mail them notice and they'll have to apply for an absentee.
Okay, mail them a notice and they have to apply for the absentee.
says the commission must mail notice to the voting process along with the application for ballot.
Okay,
And the commission will do that upon our approval of second reading.
Yes.
At which point we will do on August the 18th.
yes,
So this is for the November election.
It is.
Okay.
and Tammy repeatedly told me today, I will go through that list, and I hadn't done it
And
yet.
she will double check
She would.
with the council.
And there could be some new ones added on between now and then.
Did this approve unanimously here tonight?
It was.
Yes.
And I don't know if you ladies can go back and add a vote, but I vote yes to that too, if that can be added post. I do want to thank Grant again. I know I do this every meeting, but I think it is very important what he does for us. And a teenager could be doing a lot of things, so the fact that he's here helping us, I appreciate you with that note. And I think that's all I've got.
He's done a good job for
He
us.
has
I
done a
couldn't
good
do
job.
this
Yeah.
without. Let me delay our up-to-date 21st century tape recorder. Needs to have the tape clip.
You need to read the other.
This is from Randy. I do have one more thing.
We hadn't talked about
Okay. Randy Walton has sent us a note that says that the Americans with Disabilities Act says you cannot put handicap parking that opens up in the flow of traffic.
it. Okay, so that would be both of the spots then.
Yeah.
And that handicap parking is wider than regular parking, which it is. And he says that's what we ran into a problem with when we considered bringing it
Okay.
forward.
Okay, I just didn't know if we ever just didn't follow through all the way, okay.
Which may be why there was never one put at the hardware store.
Could
So
be
really,
right.
That's the other name he put on there.
Yeah,
legally, we
okay.
can only put one on the square.
Mike,
Yes,
are there any marked handicap spots in the main parking lot?
that I don't know.
So maybe we could work with the mayor there
Yeah,
on that section, and then maybe we need to think about that for the area next to the old fire hall where my staff has been parking. When we turn that into parking, maybe we need to include a handicap spot.
it may be difficult with the slope there, but we could think about that.
Worth checking, I don't know where else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
All right.
doesn't open into.
I'll check. Y'all look too when you go by there at the back. My gut hunch is there's gonna be one or two spots there. But what makes me think there may not be is because you can't go in that building
I
there.
don't think there is.
Okay.
I think they are in the front parking lot on Main.
Across from the depot.
We're talking about across from the depot, and I said that there might be one or two there, but then I thought, you can't go in that building, and Brandy said she didn't think they were there. And Tony says they're up there at the edge of,
Yeah, I think
Main
they're
Street.
in the front parking lot.
okay, in the front parking. All right, we'll
Okay.
hold off on this and take a look and see what we
it
think.
makes sense.
All right, we know at least one person's watching, Randy, let us know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think he said we had 8 people watching
oh,
tonight.
good.
And that reminds me, I did forget one more thing, goes along with that whole deal. Jim, wanted me to bring back up that, people are still doing the U-turns in front of his place.
Still doing the
The
work.
U-turns in front of his place.
Okay, we've got an ordinance on that, you know.
Yes,
we thought-
yes, we
All
did.
right.
We got
I
that.
got two things to discuss with the chief then.
Yes,
Okay.
and then I am done, that was my other thing.
One more comment, I got a text from my daughter and says you cannot open a Zoom meeting to the public without cost involved.
Tony's daughter has said we cannot open a Zoom meeting to the public without cost involved. Okay, we'll explore that a little bit and see. Because I know it was open for the county.
Somebody would have to be here though with Grant for his cameras. because
Yeah, and I don't mind being there.
That
I
would be
mean,
asking him to go in somebody's home.
it doesn't matter whether I'm here or,
Yeah.
a whole lot better be here than home. And I don't need to be in
You
the
don't want
office.
Max on the?
No.
I know we have him to do this, but I sort of like the meetings the way they were, where the people here and the discussions, and
Yeah.
that's more of a city meeting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's very unusual not to have the public here to at least bring up something.
It don't even seem like a meeting.
No, it's true. You've seen something.
I was saying I couldn't hear Howard.
Oh, he was saying, he wished we were back at the normal way of meeting when people are here, we could bring up stuff and join in the meetings like we do here. 5 weeks, let's hope it happens, but we'll see. The governor's got that out there till August the 29th, so it'll definitely cover the next meeting unless he backs it off. And y'all as well as I do, there's a lot of things going on right now, a lot of moving parts. And the next week, 10 days, is gonna be critical about school, gonna be critical about athletics, gonna be critical about a lot of things. And, so it's just kinda hard to predict right now. Anybody else got anything? Are we ready to go? You ready to go, Katie? Katie made a motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Katie, stay healthy.